So let us discuss on a architecture, RDMS architecture, RDBMS architecture. What do you mean by RDBMS architecture means? It is database relational database management system. So as you all know about relational database management system, or relational means it is relating, or it has a connection between two or more database. Okay, so here we all know we have internal layer, conceptual layer and external layer. So let us come from the depth. So the first what happens here is you have a database. Okay, why a database is being used? Always a database is represented in a format like a cupboard format or a cup format, which means that you are going to insert a data. ನೀನು ಆ database data ಹಾಕ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Clear? We are going to insert a data, not that we are going to destroy a data. What we are going to do? We are going to insert those data for a certain entities of times. Clear? Wait a second. Yeah. So we are going to insert a data. So as we have three architecture, first what happens here, you have a database. Okay, for this what we are going to do, we are going to insert the values, which means that we are going to convert those values into a by machine level languages, and we are going to just add this data to the database. That layer is known as internal layer. Okay, next, here what happens here, for to make this to internal layer we should have some logical gates, so it's logical statements. So that logical statements has been provided by conceptual schema. Conceptual schema and layer one and the same itself. Then for means what happens here is, here we are going to write some kinds of codes. So what happens, from an end user you get some of the codes, then you are going to convert that codes in a form with the help of internal layer, and you are going to send that data to the database where you are going to store the data in a particular fashion. While here we have end users who are going to use this data. We have a end users who are going to use this data. Means view. So this layer is known as external layer. So this is the RDBMS data structure, where we always call this data structure a three-layer data structure. Okay, so what happens here? Let us learn what happens here in this RDBMS database structure. Clear? So internal layer. This layer is the lowest level of abstraction that describes how a data is stored and organized. So what happens in the internal layer? Here, as I said, your machine only knows zeros or ones in a binary level language, or we call them as a machine level language. What this internal layer does, this internal layer will represent how a database is stored in a, how a data have been stored in a database. Like it is going to convert this data and store it as zeros and ones in your database. Clear? So this is the database, and what happens here is, this layer is also known as a physical level, means a starting level of the architecture. This level describes the complex low-level data structure in detail. So what does this layer describe? A layer describes how a data is being stored in a database and what kind of fashion the data is being stored. So this is said by a internal layer. A internal layer is also known as a physical layer. Here we will know how a data is been organized in a meaningful fashion. How a data has been organized in a meaningful fashion inside a system. Okay, so inside a system, and this is also known as physical layer. It describes how the data is physically stored and organized in a storage medium. So what does it say? This layer is the lowest layer of data abstraction, which describes how a data is been organized physically inside a database. So data has been organized ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಆ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, how a data is been stored in a database will be represented in the physical layer. Clear? So next we are going to move on to conceptual layer. What happens here? This layer deals with the logical structures of the entire database. Hence, it is known as logical layer. What does it deal? It will deal with the logical structure, which means that simply we can say it is a coding level. So coding level in the C++ are use ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, which has the actual coding level called as the SQL, structured query language, which you are going to learn in next coming chapters. Clear? Structured query language. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ each and everything. If I need to, as you all know about the database terms, we have a table, right? If you need to use this table, you should create them. So after creating, you are going to insert. For insert also we have a command. After insert, to select also we have a command. We have a command to delete. We have a command to update. So these things are done by the end user with the help of conceptual schema. So what does the conceptual schema do over there? A conceptual schema always represents the logical level of your system. Whenever you are going to store a data, you are going to use a conceptual level, or you are going to use the coding level to create those database. So this is how a conceptual layer deals. What does this layer deals with? A layer deals with the logical structure of an entire database. Hence, it is known as logical level of your database. So, what is this logical layer does? A logical layer always stores the data in a proper sequence fashion. Andre using a coding level or adindu higher level language, English like statements use ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ನ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತದ್ದು. So by that logic itself, internal layer will get the information that I should store those data in my machine level languages, and here you will get some kinds of the informations in that. Clear? So this is how a logical layer or a logical statement works. Understood? So the next layer is external layer, one of the highest level layer, and it is also known as, here we call this external layer as a application layer also. Application layer. Why? Means here end user is going to use your application. End user is going to use your application. So whatever data the end user provides, right, it will be in some of the HTML, or as you all learned, this page or this view will be in a format of HTML page, ML page. They use some kind of coding for a front end design called as CSS, Bootstrap, and different kinds of things. And they will then they will what we say, they will write a page where they design them. How from there the data always moves inside a database. Clear? So this is the highest level that deals with the user views of the database, and also known as view level, or it is also known as application level. This level describes a part of database from particular group of users. So what does this do? This describes a part of database. ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು as I already said to you, the database means it is a multiple user. ನಿಮಗೆ few features ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು. Multiple user ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ more than one user will access the database, which means each and every user doesn't have the same taste. Each and every user has a different types of same level of taste. So what does this view level do? Sometimes a person or end user needs to insert a data, which means that this provides a scheme, or this provides a page where the data should be inserted. Next, for some users we need to view those data which he has already inserted. That is done by the different pages. Means what does this do? What does this external layer do? External layer helps the users to view the data. External layer helps the end users to work on their interest. Clear? So this it permits the users to access the data record at that permits the data means he will help to permit the data to use this data at any kinds of things. And he may also say, and here in general, the most of the users and application programs do not require the entire data stores in a database. The external layer describes a part of the database for a particular group of users. So ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ external layer ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ database it will not access. Okay, each and everything ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. Some users will only, as I already said, some users only needs to store the data, or some users only need to access the data. At that time what happens here is, here this data are being accessed and stored by the help of the external layer. Clear? It provides a powerful and flexible security mechanism by handle the part of database for certain users. There are some users who can hack the system. Say for the example, if I access the bank server, what happens? I can take each and every records in a bank, right? So it should not happen, because the bank records inside a bank is private records. So each and every person should not use. Only the person who is utilizing that, he should use. Say for example, in a banking mobile banking itself, so when you log in, what happens? Your page will come, the other pages will not come, right? Same way, this external layer provides the security for a database. So this is what architecture of the RDBMS looks like. So there are three layers. One is internal layer, conceptual layer, and external layer. So what does the internal layer do? Internal layer it will act as a abstractor. It will say how a data has been stored inside a database. So conceptual layer, it is also known as a logical layer, and the data are being sent through a conceptual layer using some of the coding languages. Next, the external layer, where end user is going to use your database for inserting a data or deleting a data, or for some different kinds of things. This is about the layers of a RDBMS. So now let us speak who are the users in a database management system. Who are the users in a database management system? So the first one is application programmer. Or system analyst. Application programmer or system analyst. So what is this? A system analyst is determine the requirements of the end user. So a system analyst ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, say for the example, ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. I am an end user. Okay, you are the person who ask my requirement. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಯಾವ ತರದ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನೀವು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡೋರು ಏನು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ system analyst means he will go to the end user. He will go to the end user who requires to make a software, and he asks some of the questions and he takes its opinion. Such kind of data or such kinds of applications, a person is known as a system analyst. Understood? So what does system analyst do? So system analyst determine the requirements of a end user. So our requirements ಒಂದು application ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನಾವು application ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. So what happens here is we can't do our own applications, right? We require a user or we require an end user, and we should ask him a questions and we will get a proper solution. So finally we can provide them with the application. So that work, the asking work or the gathering work is done by system analyst. So why he uses a database is because he need to store each and every data what he asks from a user. ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಕೈಯಿಂದ ಯಾರು ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಆ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ನೆಲ್ಲ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ? ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ರೀಸನ್ system analyst will access the database for his own reason. System analyst access the database for his own reason. Next, application programmer. So after a system analyst provides you some parameters from an end user, the application programmer must check out what he has given, what I should create. Okay, for that reason this application programmer will access the data, means especially a native parameters like end users and developer significance for a transaction that meets a requirement. The application programmer implements these parameters in the program. So what happens here? ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಈಗ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವೇನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಂಡ್ ಯೂಸರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾದರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಈಗ ನನಗೆ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನೇನ್ ಬೇಕು? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ವಿಟೇಷನ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ವಿಟೇಷನ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು, ಲೆಕ್ಚರರ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೇಕು, ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಏನೇನ್ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿ ನೀವು ಪಡ್ಕೋತೀರಾ. What data you have gathered, right? That data will be stored in the database. Okay, that data will be stored in the database. After that those data means those data ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಏನೇನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್, ಆ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾರು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ he will implement in his codes. This is the first person who is going to use the database is application programmer and system analyst. Second one is end user. So who is the end user? The person who is going to use that application is the end user. Okay, so the people who require access to the database for query, updating and generating reports. The database exists primarily for their use. So yaar idu end users? The people who are going to access that database for updating the data or to take a generator report or for different kinds of things. For that reason a end user will use, and for that work a end user is required. So why a end user is required? The end user is required for accessing the database. One thing, he can access the database for what? For ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಒಂದು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಫಾರ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅ ಫೈನಲ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹೂ ಯೂಸಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ is known as end user. The third person who is going to access this database is DBA, means database administrator. Database administrator. He is the main person in a part or in a drama. He is the main person in a drama. Means what we can say is he becomes a main chief for the given. Like for our institution, as Prakash sir is the main head, the same way to work on a database, The person who is going to manage those database is a database administrator. So DBA or database administrator is responsible for authentication access to the database, for coordinating and monitoring its user. So for example, if I need to come and if I need to deliver a lecturing or deliver a teaching, means first I should be appointed. I should be appointed in this college. Only then I can deliver a lecturing to you, right? Who appoints me? This I am appointed by a management trustee, right? Same way here, a database administrator, what he does, he will keep a track. He will keep a track, or he will be authenticating the user whether this user is a perfect one or ಅಂದ್ರೆ perfect ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಫಾರ್ like what means he will username password ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದಾನ, ಅವನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಯಾರು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ? DBA ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಏನು ಒಂದು, he will be coordinating and monitoring the users data, the users ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಏನೇ ಡೇಟಾ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ, what he is doing, if there is any problem in a database, he who is going to fix that, the data, this thing is been fixed by your and your database users. Clear? Next, next, and for requiring the needs of hardware and software resources. So what does it do? He will meet the different kinds of hardware and software. Clear? Different means requirements. Andre yav tarah hardware beko, software beko to yaar decide ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? This will be decided by database administrator. The last one, final one, who is going to access the database is database designer. Database designer. So who is a database designer now? A database designer are responsible for identifying the data to be stored in the database, for choosing appropriate structure to represent and store the database. ಏನ್ ಡೇಟಾಬೇಸ್ ಡಿಸೈನರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸೇಮ್ ಆಸ್ ಇಫ್ ನೀವು ಈಗ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಲ್ವಾ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಅ ಯೂಸರ್ ಗ್ರಾಫಿಕಲ್ ಯೂಸರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಲಿ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಆ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ನ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ. ಲೈಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸಿ ಅ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಅ if you see a Facebook for creating a create a new account, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದೊಂದು ಡಿಸೈನ್ ತರ ಕಾಣುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಆ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಡೇಟಾಬೇಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ he will create one structure. This structure is been designed by database designer. So these are the four main users of the database management system. These are the four main users of database management. So the next concept for today is data independence. Next concept for today is data independence. So what is data independence? So data independence is an ability of a database to modify a schema defined at one level without affecting a schema in a next higher level. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, as I have already explained to you, internal level, conceptual level and external level itself, what happens here is, once a data is been designed, once a data is been written or done properly, we should look to that. If I require to change anything in my database, I should see that it should not affect to other layer, ಅಂದ್ರೆ higher level ಈಗ external layer ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸಾರಿ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಡೇಟಾಬೇಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗಲೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀನಿ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಆ ಡೇಟಾಬೇಸ್ ಈ ಟಾಪ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಗೆ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಬಾರ್ದು. ಆ ತರ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ನಾವ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ data independence. So what is the data independence then? Or data independence is an ability of a database to modify a schema, means to make a small change in a schema, to make a small change in a schema which defines that the data which has been modified, it should not be affected to the next higher level. Such conception such that a conceptual level, the data which has been changed in the ability of changing a conceptual schema without affecting to a external or application programmer. Such kinds of database is now, such kinds of concept is known as data independence. Not really, they have already said the ability to change the conceptual schema. Like I have already explained you three levels, right? Now your conceptual level schema dalli data change ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ or I will modify them. This modification must not be affected to the higher level called as external or application layer. So the such kinds of schema or such kinds of data are known as data independence. Clear? So we have two types of data independence. The first one is physical data independence. Physical data independence. Physical data independence. The second one is logical data independence. Logical data. So there are two types of data independence. The first one is physical data independence, and second one is logical data independence. Here in a physical data independence, we have, what is the physical data independence means? All the schemas are logical and actual data which are stored in a form of bits on a disk. As I already explained you, what does the internal layer do, right? So what does the internal layer do? Internal layer is used to store the data or in a machine understandable form, which it will convert the higher level language into bits and bytes. So after converting the data into higher bits and bytes, only then your data will be stored in a physical layer. So such kinds of an arrangement are done in a physical layer, namely the storage mediums like hard disk, floppy disk, drum, tape and SD cards, etc. What does system designers do? The system designers choose a organized access and process record and a file in a different way depending on the type of application they need, application and the needs of the users. What they depend on? So what they do means, here the data are being stored in a hard disk or a floppy disk or for some other reasons or some other files for their own users or based on the type of application. ಯಾವ ತರದ application ಅವರು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, whether it is a mobile application or it may be a system application. Based on that application and the requirement of the user, there are three commonly used file organization in the database are, first is a application of first are sequential, direct and indirect indexing sequential access method, like ISAM, index sequential organization method, accessing method is the first one. Second one is serial files. Okay, the first one is the serial file, which means that one after the other they used to store, like a data or like a arrays in a programming level. Arrays are ಏನಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, the data which you are going to provide to them, it used to store your data in one after the other, right? After 0 1 2 3 4, such kinds of such kind of design or such kind of design is known as sequential or series file organization. Such kinds of design is known as series file organization. Next is sequential file organization, based on the data which is going to come. If you are going to access that based on the data which is going to come, that becomes a sequential file organization. Okay, so what is this? So what is the physical data independence? Here this always checks how a data must be stored in a file. Clear? Like it may be any kinds of storage medium in a, whether it is a hard disk, floppy disk, or drum, tape, or SD card, etc. Here, how a system designer chooses the storage medium based on the application which he is going to work, and based on the end user requirement, based on the end user requirement. Clear? The three commonly used file organization used in data DBMS and RDBMS data processing application are sequential. First one is sequential. First one is sequential. Second one is direct and indirect sequential access method. First one is sequential, second one is direct and index sequential access method. The section of the particular file organization depends upon the application used. To access the record, some key fields or unique identification values are found in every record in a file used. So, if you need to store a data, what you do? You are going to give a unique number, like a student. If this person has the same name, how we are going to identify them? Based on their ID, based on their user student ID, right? So same way here, when a record is being stored, when a record is been stored and accessed, stored, that those the records are been accessed through a unique identification key or using unique identification files. So this is about the physical data independence. So different types of, what are different types of applications which are being used? One is sequential, and second one is direct and indexed sequential access method. Indexed is like a pointer itself. Clear? This is about a sequential physical layer. So here, as I spoke about series file organization. With a series file organization, the records are arranged one after the another in no particular order other than a chronological order method. Andre same as your arrays. First zero ದಲ್ಲಿ data fill ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಪುನಃ 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ fill ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, second 2 3 4 like that. Means up to the nth level also it comes in a series itself, one after the other. There is nothing that you have a ID into that, but a file what is going to arrange in a series order itself. Clear? The series organization is commonly found in a transaction data, where the records are created in a file in the order in which the transaction takes place. Andre hege, so you have seen bills in the supermarkets. So what they do, based on the items which you are going to read from the barcode, it is going to fill over there, right? Same way this happens. Clear? One after the other, based on the given manner. So this is about the sequential file organization, series file organization. So hope you understood about this.